Let's go back to Amazon. President Trump is going after them, saying this. Roll tape.
If you look at the cost that we're subsidizing, we're giving a subsidy to Amazon, and we're talking about billions of dollars a year, the real cost. And a report just came out. They said $1.47, I believe, or about that, for every time they deliver a package. The United States government, meaning the post office, loses $1.47. So Amazon is going to have to pay much more money to the post office. There's no doubt about that.
Now, the president has gone after Amazon 4 times in the last week, and it's had its effect. The stock has fallen significantly. Scott Galloway is with us. He's NYU Stern Professor of Business and a critic of Amazon, even though he is a shareholder of Amazon. Right on both counts?
Yeah, no, I love Amazon as a consumer and investor. I just think that it's time to break up big tech. I think it'd be good for the economy and good for the middle class and good for the planet.
Now, good for the planet, come on. Okay, I'm not going to be sidetracked by that nonsense.
There you go.
Okay, right. Now, so the president is going after him. But what can the administration actually do to break them up? Is it just antitrust? That's it? That's all they got?
Not a lot. And there's a difference between being right and effective. And I think the president was the former and not the latter. I think the president's actions have effectively immunized Amazon from regulation because he's turned it into a partisan issue. It's now seen as a personal attack against Bezos and the Post, which will take people, including Bernie Sanders, who had also raised concerns around big tech, and move them in front defending Amazon. I think, to be blunt, I think he's blown it. The DOJ is commissioners that are appointed by the president, but they can't be removed by the president. Okay. The DOJ is a set of antitrust laws. Antitrust law would have to be rewritten by Congress. The FTC is the commissioners who can't be removed by the president. So he doesn't have a lot of weapons at his disposal. If he was serious about this, he would have made the argument against all of big tech, and he would have privately gone to some Democratic and Republican senators, made it a bipartisan issue. The place to go gangster on these guys is through red state AGs. That's what he should have done. But,
I mean, he didn't do that.
Right.
He took to his Twitter account, and you think that that's going to be ineffective. Although the stock has come down, what, $1,600 down to the $1,300 level, but you don't think it's going to be broken up.
And watch it rip back, Stuart. We're about to see our first $1 trillion market cap company that effectively pays no corporate tax. See, he got it half right. He said this company doesn't pay its fair share of taxes, which was right, and then he blew it and said on state tax and local taxes. And the bottom line is they do pay state taxes. So he comes across as uninformed using weak data. And then there's Jeff Bezos in the background feeding the press data to refute everything the president has said. One of them is acting presidential. The other is president. He has blown it.
Okay, and so because you think he's blown it, you think that the stock comes roaring back to become a $1 trillion company?
Fastest growing, most profitable part of technology, the cloud, they're the #1 market share leader. The future of technology, a third of all computing will no longer be done on screens, will be done via voice. Amazon has 70% share. The most valuable retail channel in the world. U.S. e-commerce, they have a 45% share. The biggest consumer market in America, grocery, $650 billion. Amazon is now the fastest growing grocer with Whole Foods. Amazon is about to become, with the acquisition of Ring, the only entity in the world outside of the fire and police department that can get into your house without your permission, because 62% of households that have Amazon Prime are now going to install Ring and say, Amazon, we like and trust you so much, you can come into my house and put stuff in my refrigerator. $1 trillion by the end of the year, first $1 trillion company. That's the good news. Bad news, will have effectively paid no corporate income tax.
Okay, if it's $1 trillion company, what stock price does it have to reach to get to $1 trillion market valuation?
It has to go up about 50% from here.
So you're talking about $2,100, $2,200
It has to go to 2060. So that's 700 points. For Apple, it's another 26.
And the good professor here thinks it'll do it this year.
Yeah, look, I'm not a stock market analyst. I think there is no stopping Amazon. The only thing between Amazon and $1 trillion market valuation was regulation, and the president has unwittingly immunized Amazon against regulation. He's blown it.
Now, your book, and I've read parts of it.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You gave it to me, as I recall.
That's right, I did. I think I signed it.
But you take off against other big tech companies.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Facebook should be broken up in some way?
Yeah, any company that owns 5 of the top 6 apps can be weaponized by a foreign entity. has a community more vast than Christianity, yet has a CEO that proposed 3 classes of shares such that he could sell a stock and not be removed from office, which effectively makes him an information age autocrat overseeing a population greater than the southern hemisphere, add in the value of India. What could go wrong? So, look, yeah, I think they should be broken up. I think there would be more hiring, broader tax base, more M&A, more VC funded if we had Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger instead of just Facebook.
I'm surprised that you're such a popular guest on the program.
Shocker, right?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Scott Galloway, I do think you're all right, and we thank you for joining us.
Thanks, sir. Good to see you.
Appreciate it.